if you've noticed your heart racing more easily, if your blood pressure has shifted, if workouts feel different than they used to, you're not imagining it. Menopause is not about just hot flashes and mood swings. It's also about cardiovascular transition. Today, we're talking about what happens to your heart, circulation, and blood vessels when estrogen begins to decline, and what midlife women need to understand about protecting heart health without panic, pressure, or going to extreme measures. I'm telling you what, we're not making this a fear based episode, it's just a clarity episode. All right? And I'd like to welcome you to MenoSpark, the podcast that helps women reignite their spark through perimenopause and beyond with a focus on holistic health and wellness. I'm your host, Allie Thies. I'm a board certified sexologist, sex coach, menopause care provider, integrative wellness coach. I'm certified in integrative functional nutrition, and I'm your go to guide for navigating the wild, weird, and wonderful ride that is midlife. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that follow button so that you never miss an episode. And if you're returning, thank you for being a part of this amazing community. I'm sorry I've been gone. It's been a year so far. hmm Last Monday, I had a family member pass away, so I was in Pennsylvania for the full day at a funeral. So it's not sad of her passing. She's with her husband and her son now, who's she's been missing for decades. So it was a release passing. It was release from her from this earthly world, so that she can join the people she loves more than anything else in eternity. So that's where I was this past Monday. But we're going full steam ahead here. This month, we're talking about heart health, circulation, and hormonal shifts. And today's topic is all about estrogen, circulation, and the midlife heart. What changes after 40? Oh, so much changes after 40, right? And the two Thrive pillars this goes with is the tailored nutrition and the hormonal balance. So, what does estrogen do for the cardiovascular system, you ask? Well, estrogen is just not only a reproductive hormone. Oh no. It also plays a protective role in blood vessel flexibility, nitric oxide production, which keeps your arteries relaxed, anti inflammatory signaling, cholesterol metabolism, glucose regulation, vesicular repair, and in re- oh my goodness gracious, reproductive years, estrogen helps arteries stay elastic. Okay. And elastic arteries, well, they expand easily, they contract appropriately, they handle blood flow changes smoothly. This is why, as I call it, the land down under, your little button, why it works so well. And then after you hit perimenopause and beyond, it loses its sensitivity. And as estrogen fluctuates and declines, arterial stiffness may increase slightly. LDL cholesterol may rise. HDL cholesterol may shift. Inflammatory signaling may increase. And the blood pressure may trend upwards. Now, these changes are usually gradual. They're all part of a hormonal transition. It's not an immediate crisis, but it is worth understanding. You may begin to notice maybe cold hands and feet, slightly higher blood pressure readings, heart palpitations that feel more noticeable, feeling winded more easily, slower recovery from exercise, dizziness when standing quickly, and maybe a pounding heartbeat during stress. And I know these sensations can feel unsettling, but often they reflect changes in vesicular tone, hormonal influences on blood vessels, your nervous system interplay, and your cortisol driven constriction. Now, in the last episode, we talked about cortisol. So if you haven't listened to that episode, I highly suggest you do. Because again, in January, we talked about stress hormones, how they constrict blood vessels. And if cortisol remains elevated, vesicular tension increases. So, cardiovascular changes in menopause are never just about the heart. They're about hormones, plus stress, plus blood sugar, plus inflammation, plus movement. It's like your whole ecosystem. But chronic stress, it does not stay in the mind. No, it doesn't. It shows up in the arteries. Because with that elevated cortisol, if you remember, it raises blood pressure, increases, increases inflammatory markers, contributes to abnormal fat storage, affects insulin sensitivity, impacts cholesterol metabolism. When the stress is chronic, the heart has to work harder. That's why this past January on we worked on the nervous system stabilization. That was a foundational piece. You cannot talk about heart health without talking about stress physiology. The heart responds to rhythm, and rhythm begins in the nervous system. Okay. Many women are told in menopause your risk increases. What people are rarely told, women are rarely told, is that the risk increases gradually, that lifestyle shifts matter significantly, extremes are not required. But no, you get that fear going, and that drives over exercising, severe dieting, eliminating entire food groups, panic based supplement use, and obsessive tracking. What does that do? Well, it raises your cortisol, I know, which raises your blood pressure, which increases inflammation, which strains the heart. Do you see the cycle? Heart health in midlife requires steadiness, not intensity. So let's make this practical and calm, shall we? Some things that actually support the midlife heart. Well, one, moderate strength training. This supports insulin sensitivity, muscle mass, vesicular function, metabolic stability. 2 to 3 times a week, very proactive and productive. Number two, walking. Walking improves circulation, reduces cortisol, supports blood sugar, improves mood, increases nitric oxide. Walking is deeply underrated. Everyone should walk, including myself. So, fiber. Soluble fiber helps bind cholesterol. These soluble fiber sources are we have oats, lentils, beans, flax, and chia. Fiber also supports blood sugar regulation. And what does that do? It reduces inflammation. Next, we have our omega 3 fats, which supports an anti inflammatory pathway, arterial flexibility, and lipid balance. You can find this in fatty fish, walnuts, and flax. Next, we have blood sugar stability. Blood sugar spikes increase inflammatory markers, cortisol, and vesicular strain. Balanced meals matter more than restrictive diets. Then, number six, sleep protection. Because poor sleep increases your blood pressure, your cortisol, your inflammatory markers. And sleep is cardiovascular medicine. It is good for your heart. So, what does a supported midlife heart feel like? Well, when everything's going as you want and it feels supported, you have a more stable blood pressure, fewer palpitations, warmer extremities, improved exercise recovery, clearer thinking, and less internal urgency. It doesn't feel dramatic, it feels steady. And steady here is the goal. So your spark action of the week, choose one of these spark choose one of these heart supporting actions. You can walk 20 minutes daily, add one omega 3 source, increase fiber, prioritize your sleep rhythm, monitor blood pressure calmly. Do not overhaul your entire life. You'll never stick to it. Support one system at a time and repeat. Now, if you'd like more support during your menopausal journey, I'm here for you. We have Thrive Menopause Coaching. We have the menopause appointments, which are 45-minute appointments, kind of like a doctor's appointment. We talk, I give you suggestions of what to do, and we set goals. And then we have Unpause, which is the Menopause Wellness Audit. If you're new to menopause or perimenopause and you don't know where to start, this is a good place to start learning more. All right? Visit menopausewellness.co to explore your options. Menopause is not a cardiovascular emergency, it's a cardiovascular adjustment. Your body's not floating away and deteriorating, it's recalibrating. There we go. When we understand the recalibration, we respond intelligently rather than out of fear. Next week, we'll go deeper into blood pressure, cholesterol, and what midlife lab work really means because numbers only feel frightening when they're unexplained. And I tell you what, during each and every one of these episodes, you see my brain fog going in full force because this podcast, these episodes are the only ones I really stumble over. Um, my brain has to recalibrate on how to say these things. My brain puts different words there. And after I say them, I know it's not right. So I have to go back and try it again. That's for myself. That is the one of the most frustrating things about this whole menopausal journey is the effing brain and the hop skips and the jumps it does. But next week, we'll talk about blood pressure, cholesterol, and what midlife lab work really means. Because numbers only feel frightening when they're unexplained. So I'd like to thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing education over alarm. And thank you for caring for your heart without panic. And if today's episode resonated with you, I see you. I've been there. I'm still here. And I promise there is a way forward. You are worthy of healing, connection, and joy. I'd like to thank you for hanging out with me on MenoSpark today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you found this helpful, share it with a friend, leave a review, and make sure you're subscribed. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack for more menopausal insights, holistic tools, and new ways to support your spark. And if no one's told you this today, let me be the first to say it. You are fabulous. Until next time, keep your spark alive. You deserve it.